me fire, give me that which I desire. Welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight we've got the East Coast Web Printers Gen 6 series here with RGR Racing in the Richmond 175. I'm Dean Doucette, joined as always by Mr. Baron Labosco, along with special guest Mr. Jeff Ward. Baron, good old Richmond here this evening.
Richmond is a good old track right there. One of the originals, been reconfigured a couple times back from the olden days, but tonight these drivers got a little challenge in front of them. Richmond's a tricky bitch, and sometimes it can fool you. Come out of that turn just a little bit loose, slap the wall, your night's over, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, Baron, we was watching practice here, and it looks like a lot of guys are loose coming out of 2, mainly. I saw a lot of guys get loose coming out of there, so definitely going to be a challenge. I'm happy to be here with you guys, and hopefully these guys put a show on for us here tonight.
Absolutely. Look for a great show. We had one last week there. At least we did till the last 10 laps. It was Sheffield and Reiner down at Darlington battling it out, but a little contact with the wall ended that battle, and Sheffield came out on top. But we're looking on our points, unofficial points here. Jorge Leal out front of Jason Jackson, in which could end up being a two-way battle, but Travis looking to say something about that, of course.
Our series does not disappoint, and these guys are still, guys and girls, still racing for points out here. So, the season's about midway through. We got a little ways to go, and Richmond could be one of those tracks where you could really, really bleed some points here. You got to be careful with this one.
You do, Jeff. When you look at a place like Richmond, what is the objective here? Let's say you're starting around 5th place. I mean, what are you doing? Are you going to manage your car? Are you going to try and pick up spots early because it's hard to pass late? What are your thoughts on how to run this place?
Well, I think probably the fastest line around here is just hugging that bottom, that yellow line. I think you really want to try to save the right front. And like we mentioned, with it being a little loose, right rear too. So just really focus on tire saving. It's going to be a long race. Hopefully they don't have a lot of cautions. RGR is known for a lot of green flag laps. So, yeah, just guys like Jorge Leal, Darren Bruce. There's several guys, Greg Ratliff. They're really good at tire saving. I think it's going to be really important tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, there's a lot of guys who like this track. Like you said, a lot of guys who are good with the tire saving. We'll look for some of those guys, maybe talk more about them as the race goes on. I mean, Baron, what are your thoughts about Richmond? I know it's not one of your favorites as we see Rincon hit the barrels there. I mean, maybe I ask you that. Is pit road entry a problem?
Well, pit road entry can be a problem, Dean. It's not like it's an easy pit road entry. To get it right, you got to practice, right? And I've turned hundreds of laps at this track, and I never could get my hands around it, Dean, which is why I bitch and moan about it. But it's a neat little track nonetheless. So just because I couldn't drive it doesn't mean anything. But that pit road can sneak up on you, and these tires at right front, it wears out, to Jeff's point. That thing will wear out, get real hot on you, and then you get a loose, tight condition. That's real hard to recover from, especially in a long run.
All right. Well, right now, we ask everybody to rise up out of their seats for the singing of the national anthem by Alicia Shipman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
I
All
love
right.
it, Dean.
Yes, sir. The national anthem always inspires. Let's get into tonight's starting grid here, right quick. Bernard Person on the point with a time of 21.382. It's Paul K. Travis. He's been hot lately. He'll start on the outside of row number 1. It's Reiner and Helm in 2. Newton and Hunt in row 3. Bruce and Fleming in row 4. Spear and Williams in row number 5. And we'll just have you look at the rest to find your favorite driver out here. Almost ready to go racing, boys.
One more lap until they peel them off and get this thing going, Dean. 175 laps, right? Is that right?
That
175.
is
Look at
right. I
that.
mean, very interesting here seeing, Sheffield back here in 20th. He's got work to do here tonight.
I think he likes it, Dean. A lot of times we'll see him come from the back and turn it into a W. So let's keep an eye on that machine.
All right. Guys are all set to go. The Hertz are starting to go up. Getting ready to go green flag racing here in the ECWP Richmond 175.
Say that 3 times fast.
I'd rather not. Here we go. Pace car off the track. Bernard Person leads them on down. Oh, a good start on the outside by Paul K. Travis. He is fighting. This is something you can do at Richmond. You can wrap that outside on lap number 1. He's trying real hard. He's got to run here.
Yeah, good run out of the turn, and he's side by side right now. This one's a hard turn to stay side by side on. The inside line typically gets the preferred line, but okay, aiming tough out here.
Yeah, he being tough, but Bernie did a whale of a job too, holding him off there. That's awful tough to do. You know, you look at this track, and lap 1, I've seen it many times. That outside, Jeff, you can really get up there on that restart and do something.
Well, yeah, the good thing about the outside is you can pinch the guy down on exit, and you can really make him eat about as much tire as you are on the outside. So, yeah, it looks like everybody's getting off to a good start here, and a lot of side-by-side racing. Shout out to Bernie, by the way, for getting the pole there.
Yeah, Bernard Person, one of his favorite tracks, one of his best tracks. He really rolls the center of these corners. It's going to be tough to beat. You seen there, A-Bear up on the high side, Walker the second down low. Bunch of guys in this gaggle of cars here. Fleming down in there, A-Bear. Jorge Leal back here in 13th. He's got work to do as well. That's your points
leader. Yep, points leader in a gaggle of problems right now. Look at that. That exit closes up in a hurry, doesn't it, Jeff? I mean, you come out of these big, wide, sweeping turns, but there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver once you get towards that exit, right?
Well, you know, here in a couple weeks, I think they go to Iowa, and this track is such a contrast from that because Richmond's so much tighter. I mean, Iowa, you can kind of spread out, but yeah, to your point, it's really tight, and you really got to watch what you're doing out there. You can find yourself in a fence real quick. But, yeah, I mean, these guys are figuring it out so far here.
Yeah, lots of battles back here around 12th through 15th. Leal trying to get some spots. He's up 1 now. Go back up front. Bernard Person leading the way. It's Travis in 2nd, Reiner in 3rd. Newton's picked up a spot and moved up to 4th. Bruce has picked up a couple. He's up to 5th. You got Helm, Hunt, Spear, Williams, A-Bear in the top 10 right now.
That Reiner machine is looking pretty sporty right now, Dean. That 14 right there making his way to the front. What do you think?
Well, Bryce has been an awful tough competitor. You know, every race it seems like he's 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. You know, kind of Newton's along the same lines if he survives a race riding that chicken pit machine. But, yeah, Reiner's, he's just been on a tear lately, and he's always good on the long run. Jeff, you've had a few battles with him. I mean, I imagine you think of him as a tough competitor.
Yeah, Bryce is one of those guys that you can put him in anything. I mean, I've had battles with him in the GT3 cars. He can hop in that seat and go out there and win a race. He's just calm, calculated. He's really good on the tires, and you know he's a force anytime he lines up on the grid. So I mean, it's no wonder that he's starting to click off wins in RGR. And tonight, I mean, he's probably one of the ones to watch here.
Definitely. Oh, and Newton's loose. chasing it down. He's into the
Uh-oh.
wall. So we were on board there with the chicken pit machine. A little too much gas, maybe a little too much wheel. The 2 survives. We stay green.
Nice recovery, but he's got a little damage in there he's going to have to deal with now.
That is so painful. At Richmond in particular, track position, vital. And, you know, in this particular league, you're not going to get a caution unless you are the caution. So, man, oh man, did he just make things tough on himself. Everybody getting single file now. A little further back, we got some battling. Looks like that might be Corey Leal, or that's Daniel Blau back here in the 17 machine. You got Corey Leal sighting out here tonight in the 57. Good to see Corey back out on the track.
Ooh, Sheffield super loose. Dinged up the wall pretty good there.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. Is that something, Jeff, is particular with this Gen 6 car? Like, I always thought of it being more planted.
I think it's unpredictable. You know, I ran a little bit in it, and 1 minute you're tight, so you crank on it, and the next minute you step on the gas, and you're getting loose, and then you start you know, fishtailing, and you end up in the wall. So I think it's just an unpredictable car. You think you got a handle on it, and you know, you might have learned some things in practice, and all of a sudden it'll catch you off guard and ruin your night. So you just got to be careful. You really got to tiptoe with this car, I think.
All right, someone who's not tiptoeing, that 8 machine, Bernard Person, out here setting a torrid pace, opening up a 2.5 lead early. Barron, is this a mistake? Is he burning his stuff up?
You know, we've seen Bernie do this. He makes up his track position early in the run, and then he holds them off towards the end of the run. So I don't think it's a mistake, because obviously Bernie's won races doing this. But I guess to your point, right? Is he overcooking the car? Only Bernie knows that, and you know, hopefully for Bernie's sake, he manages to distance himself before that really rears its troublesome head.
Shot from the inside of Rachel Hunt, currently in 6th. Nice little run here for the number 1 machine. Jason Spear right behind her with Claus Williams. You can see Claus there wrapping that yellow line. How important is that? As we look in on Jorge Leal, it looked like he was going to make a move on Newton there. Newton looks like he's still trying to find it a bit. Jeff, you think about Richmond here. Is the yellow line where you want to be?
I think it's the best place to be, at least in the beginning of the run. I mean, you don't want to get too much heat in the tires, and then you're really going to pay for that later if you do. And then maybe, you know, 40, 50 laps into a run, you might be able to move up in that second groove, start making some time. But I think the preferred line is down there on the bottom, which, like I was saying earlier, it's a lot different. Somewhere like Iowa, you can go straight up to the top right off the bat. So, yeah, probably yellow line.
You know, we used to run with a guy here, Barron. I'm not sure if you remember or not, but going into 1, he would really arc that thing in, you know, run that low brake bias and arc it in, and he'd cut your nose off if you were behind him each and every lap. Boy, oh boy, it was frustrating, but it's kind of what I'm getting at. Is there something you can do here to kind of frustrate a driver maybe?
Well, that's just it. You're running your line. If the driver behind you is in the same line, well, then somebody's got to change. And you hope it's not the guy in front, right? That guy's all he's trying to do, put down the fastest lap he can so that nobody catches him. But once you change your line, you change your braking points, you change your acceleration points. To Jeff's point earlier, right, that taxes the machine in ways you're not normally used to. You've got to run that lap differently time and time again. It's a game of inches, Dean.
It really is. Hunt making a move on Helm. How about that? Rachel looking to move up. She does, up into 5th place. The 1 hooked up here this evening.
Rachel's sporty tonight. I think she's been putting in some extra track time.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you know, we ran with Rachel quite a bit back in the day, and I'm telling you, she was a tough competitor. You know, as we get a little older and certain health issues creep up, it gets tougher and tougher, but she's feeling good here tonight. She's starting to come up on Mr. Darren Bruce. The 1, absolutely flying, makes a move on the 15. Wow, the one moving up to fourth.
Well, that didn't take any time at all, did it, Dean?
No, I mean, I'm really impressed. It's great to see Rachel got her speed back. She got her groove back, I guess you could say.
You got to see what she's doing down there in 1 and 2. She's moved up already, and it's definitely starting to pay off.
Well, let's right on board with Rachel Hunt and just have a look at that. We head down into 1. You see there that high entry, and she is a late exit on there. Get that straight off the corner. That's where some speed really is.
She's making me look like I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. She did it at lap 25. I said 40 or 50, so Rachel's figured something out here.
Yeah, she really has. I mean, this is kind of the line I was talking about that cut down. And if you're behind her and you're trying to slip it underneath her, she cut down like that right on your nose, and it'll irritate you. She ain't doing nothing wrong, like if you're right on her, but I should speak for myself. It irritates me, Baron.
Well, passing Darren Bruce is no easy task, and not only did she pass him, she's lengthed him. So this line that she's got going on right now, making Jeff look silly right now, is working for her, and I'm sure some of the drivers behind her are figuring that out.
It's amazing the gap she put on. Bruce got a whole line of cars behind him, so Bruce may be struggling a bit. You got, looks like Helm, Spear, Williams, Abear, Newton, all lined up. There goes Claus Williams. He makes a move on Jason Spear.
Got a 46 car here. Looks like Brian Helm has moved up too. He saw Rachel doing it. He thought he'd give it a try.
Well, it's monkey see, monkey do out here. I mean, you see something working, you got to make an adjustment. As Claus competes that pass, now Abear trying to throw it in there. So the 25 trying to follow Claus Williams through. Jason going to hold him off, almost contact.
That was close.
Man, oh man, that was real close there. As this little pack here heating up. You got Abear, Spear, Newton, Jorge Leal. That's our points leader. I don't see Jason Jackson on the track, so that's going to affect the points for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm knocking them around there too. So, Winter Series getting a little hot, Dean.
Yes, sir. So stuck on the bottom is Abear, and apparently the bottom not the way to go. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to call you a liar, but Jeff, these boys are rocking the high side here tonight.
They're doing it a little earlier than I thought. It's maybe it's the temperature. That's my alibi. I'm sticking to it. But.
Absolutely. Could be the track too. Could be a lot of different things, the setup, but. And I'm pretty impressed here. We're seeing almost 3 different lines here, Baron.
We are seeing 3 different lines, and that is something that Richmond delivers with any series you're on. You see them 3 wide right now. They'll manage it. It's not fast, but they will manage it.
Holy cow! 3 wide into the corner. Leal in the middle. Abear down the bottom trying to hold them off, and Bruce trying to find a home. They all get back in line. My goodness.
Pucker time, folks.
Oof. That was a big pucker moment. Leal's very patient, but apparently his patience is done as he's stuck behind a bunch of cars. And I think, Bruce was leading this pack. He's fallen to the back. So really it looks like maybe Spear up here at the head of it now, and Leal with another run now on Abear.
And that's crazy, too, because, there's the 2 machine, and we saw him have some trouble before. He is violently loose with that car now.
Yeah, these setups, these cars not agreeing with the 2 machine right now. He's got to pull it in and talk to old Lugs Harvey there and get that thing figured out.
That's right.
Abear does not like to give up positions. I will say that about him. He's a good driver. He reminds me he's like the Ryan Newman of RGR, I would say. But he's very hard guy to pass, and then he does not like to give it up. But
I mean, I agree with you, Jeff. I mean, we talked to him, and when he won his race, what was the key to winning this race? He said aggression, aggression, aggression. He was right. He earned that thing, but he's a tough guy to race around. I wouldn't say he does anything wrong. I would say that he's not going to give up nothing. You want that spot, you're going to have to earn it.
well, he does it very cleanly. That's the thing. If you can battle the heck out of somebody and keep it clean, then that's a good attribute to have.
Absolutely. Leal now continuing to move up. He's up 5 spots on the night. Abear, we were just talking about, has picked up 3. Spears picked up a couple. Williams has picked up 4. So a lot of moving around out here. And don't look now, Mr. Sheffield joining the back of this group, up 8 spots, Baron.
Yeah, he's been very methodical, Dean. Been keeping an eye on the 36. He is just doing what he needs to do. He's not doing more and he's not doing less, Dean. And he's putting together a string of lap times that are faster than our leader at this point. So, Sheffield showing up.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise. You said it. He kind of likes to come from the back. It's fun at least to try. You always got a battle. You're always driving through traffic. Me, I prefer to be all alone up front if I could be. Speaking of up front, there is Mr. Person leading this thing. He is now up 2.7 seconds on Paul K. Travis. How about Paul K out here, Baron? I mean, we've been talking his name the last couple of weeks. He's found something lately.
Well, it takes practice, like Jeff said off air. It takes a lot of practice. Paul putting in the time. Practice delivers results, and that is dedication. And when you got that combination, you're going to be hard to beat.
And he's got that paint combination, the East Coast web printers. Love seeing it on the car out there. Thank you very much for the sponsorship. I mean, we can't do this without our sponsors, can we?
No, they're so critical. And what they do is not just the standpoint of delivering money for a wonderful broadcast like this on Wind Tunnel TV, shameless plug, but they also deliver prizes for the drivers. They deliver incentives for finishes for teams, for participation awards. It's all internal, but yeah, ECWP at the top. That's the title sponsor. There's a whole lot going on in the background.
Well, I love them, but I'm gonna X out that participation award, Baron. I don't give those out anymore.
Right. No, I get it.
Good battle there for second place. Person now 2.8 seconds ahead. And we got caution on the track. Not exactly what has transpired, but there it is.
Looks like Adam Newton's
the chicken pit machine involved. Fastest chicken in the South has been slowed down. I love it when Newton spins his car around, does a neat job. Here we go, Bear, and just an over crank. The 2 is loose. A lonely spin there. Good 360 though.
Yeah,
and that guy got into trouble early in the race too. Oh,
Jorge
yeah, he gets
Leal
collected about a
late.
57 there. I had a feeling someone was going to do that. It's unfortunate it was Adam, but it's just loose out of 2 there.
Man, oh man, everybody going down pit road. Bring up our little pit board here. See who's best. Oh no, and Bernie through his stall. No, he's okay. Looked like he went
looks
through
like he
there.
nailed it. Well, looks like he nailed it. It's deep, but he nailed it.
Paul K still a little faster on the tires. It's going to be a battle. Paul K first out. There goes a few of them. Bernie going to lose 3-4 spots here on pit road. Wow, tragedy. So Paul K. Travis out here on the point. How about that?
Well, guys, Paul K. Travis, he's 3rd in points. You got Jorge Leal back there in 8th, who's a points leader, and then, like you said, Jason Jackson, I guess he's absent. So, man, It's looking good for Paul on a points night if he can keep doing what he's doing here.
Absolutely. I mean, what a night. What a season for Paul K. I mean, we've seen him, contend in the past, and then he went in a bit of a lull there for a while, but he's back, baby, and he's looking for a championship. He's doing everything he can. He get this victory here tonight, and I tell you, I mean, Leal back in 8th position right now. He closed up on him, so a great job by him. Reiner is 2nd in the grid right now. Helm will move up to 3rd. Person slips to 4th. Hunt to 5th. You got Williams, Spear, Leal, Abear, and Walker the 2nd into the top 10. Now, Baron,
Nice little track here tonight, Dean.
it is. You think about Richmond. What is their food again? Don't they got a hot dog or something we should be talking about?
Is that Martinsville?
Could be.
I think it's Martinsville,
I'm
Jeff.
easily confused, Baron. I'm old.
I'm
You ever
looking
been
to the
down-
young guy.
You ever been down to Richmond?
Martinsville, have I been there?
To Richmond.
No, I haven't been to Richmond. I've been to Martinsville one time. Jimmy Johnson won.
All right. Pace car off the track. Paul K. Early start. I love it. Getting out there and getting out quick. He slides up high. Takes that line away from Reiner. Behind him, Helm and Person slugging it out.
Yeah, don't sleep on Bernie here. We've seen him just pour it on early laps here, try to make up as many track position pieces as he can. Bernie will not go down without a fight here.
Yeah, and I think Brian's feeling the same. Brian's saying, I know you're fast, but I ain't giving it up. Friends or not, we're going to race, and he takes a spot. He overcommits there. Bernie cannot cross him over, though. Battle behind. You got Leal and Hunt. Leal going to win that battle, so put George Leal down up to 6th. Sheffield back here trying to do some work. He's moved into the top 10. He's down on the low side. Everybody else kind of lined up in that middle lane. Wow, Spear looking 3 wide there in the middle. Bear a little loose off the corner. Some good hard racing here.
Sheffield's tough. He's going to be there at the end. I remember first time I ever raced him at Rockingham. We had a really good battle, slide jobs back and forth, and I think it was in trucks. And I said to myself, this guy's a driver. So, yeah, I fully expect him to be in the top 5 within the next, I don't know, let's say 30 laps. Let's see if they make a fool out of me again.
Well, the caution probably helped him here. Maybe not in position-wise, but track length of gap to the leader, get all bunched back up. So Sheffield now has a shot, but you look in front of him, side-by-side action, 2 guys with, Spear's going to rock that outside. He will not let Abear go. This could go on for several laps.
And likely will.
Yeah, let's go on board here and have a look and see what Sheffield is dealing with. And this just, what do you do here, Jeff? Do you just kind of milk it? Like, I'm not going anywhere. Let's not burn up my stuff.
Well, they're 56 laps into it. It's a little early to go too crazy. I think Brandon's just riding. He's already gained 10 positions from the start, so what he's doing is working. I think he's being really careful with his tires and just kind of picking his way through here. It's not a whole lot he can do unless he forces 3 wide, and sometimes that's frowned upon unless you can really make it work every time.
I get in this position and Baron, I just kind of throw up the white flag for 10 laps or something and try and save a little bit. But you see his mirror there, you can see there's cars right behind Sheffield too.
And there's nothing you could do about that, Dean. And the driver behind you knows that, right? They could see that, you're kind of boxed into that position. Aggressive drivers will show up and try to force you to make a mistake and steal a spot from you, if you will. Frustrating as hell, though, when that goes on. And to Jeff's point, save your stuff at this point. If a guy wants to be overly aggressive, by all means, be overly aggressive. But I'll be there at the end.
Like we predicted, this battle's still going on. Spear on the outside, Abear on the bottom. two guys with fast cars, Sheffield stuck behind them, Hunt in front of them. I mean, who's going to prevail here?
Yeah.
Up front, Reiner taking the lead away from Paul K. Paul K looking to cross him over, can't do it. New race leader, Bryce Reiner. Let's go ahead and get a replay on that and see exactly what happened. Here we go. So off the corner there, looks like Paul got a little early exit there, which made him slow up a bit for that wall perhaps, and he just gave it up there. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised, but Reiner had a big run, so Paul K said, you know what, I'll live to fight another day.
I think if we're 100 laps deeper into the event, he doesn't let him go, Dean.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that one. You see the different lines here, Helm middle to high, Williams high, Person low. Looks like this one finally got sorted out as Spear got by A-Bear. Sheffield now working on A-Bear. So Sheffield and Person, the two guys kind of hugging that yellow line still. Everybody else moving up higher on the track. Put Sheffield up to 9th now. He is up 11 spots. You know, him and Leal, guys that you expect to come to the front, and they're our biggest movers of the night. That's no real surprise, is it, Jeff?
No, they're just, you know, they're calculating what they're going to do, and it's a pretty long race, 175 laps. So, yeah, they're just buying their time, and that's kind of what you got to do here. But I like what they're doing on saving tires. You can really tell sometimes the guys that got the best tire wear, because at the beginning of the run, it almost looks like they're falling back, but all of a sudden they start making that charge. And George, you know, he's 7 positions from where he started up to 6th, and before you know it, he's going to be knocking on the door of the top 5 here.
Well, how about Rachel Hunt? She got a mammoth run there and came underneath Leal, but she just couldn't make it work. And she is riding some different lines around here, something I'm not accustomed to at Richmond. It's working for her, Baron.
Yeah, well, she's putting it where they ain't right now, Dean. I mean, and notice that nose is out front. It's getting that air, and that's going to help a little bit. She does have a modified line when she goes down that back straight. That just lengthens that straightaway for her, carries a lot more speed into 3 and 4.
Look at that. She said, I don't see any marbles up here, guys. What marbles? She was 3 lanes. She was almost up by the wall there. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, she's been doing that. It's a different line now. I've seen this one other time where people kind of drive almost awkwardly an entry, and there's something to be said for it. There's a little trick to it. I'm not sure what it does. Maybe it's balancing out the car, like an awkward setup. You can kind of do these things, but she's doing something a little different as we look in on Williams and Helm battling. So Claus Williams, you know, he's up 5 spots. Claus has been on the move all night as well.
Claus Williams is a threat anywhere he drives, Dean. You know, it's like you don't talk about him, and all of a sudden he's there. And here he is in the top 5, starting in 10th. You know, like, that's a charge. That's really good stuff right there.
Yeah. I mean, he's been steady Eddie, you know, maybe not the best of luck every week, but Claus is a threat to win. And another guy right in front of him, Helm. We've seen Helm lead. We've seen him get a pole. You know, he just hasn't been able to finish. Is tonight a night where he can finish? Sitting in 4th, right where he started here. You see Williams looks to make a move on Helm down on the bottom. So Claus Williams trying to get something done, can't do it, can't get the power down. Back up front, Bryce Reiner, Paul K. Travis, and Bernard Person making progress here. He picked up a couple of spots since he lost 4 on pit road. Now he's got to settle in. I mean, I don't know how much that hurt him, but Bernie's going to be tough here before this thing's over.
Always is. Bernie leading a bunch of laps early in the race. Can he find his way back to the front, Dean?
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, at some tracks, I would say, if he didn't do it in the first 25 or 30, 40 laps, it might be over for him. But here at Richmond is a different animal. He really knows how to roll those corners. I'm sure you do as well, Jeff. Just talk a little bit about it. Like, I mean, some people will go in and break through the corner, others will break early and roll that corner.
Yeah, riding with Bernie here. He's not putting a lot of wheel into it. He's riding right on the yellow line. Looks like he's not using a ton of brake down there in 3 and 4, which is what you want at this track. Just a little bit of trail braking and then kind of coast through there. But this line he's running's working, guys. I mean, he's turned looks like the best lap of the race with a 21:51. So he's on it. He restarted, I think, 5th after pit stops, and he's got these guys in front of him here. It looks like a mirrored image. Them guys look like teammates with those green and black cars.
I just watching from his in-car camera there just reminded me of my frustrations here at Richmond. You can drive the heck out of that machine, Baron, lap after lap after lap, and the car in front of you is the exact same distance away that he was 20 laps ago. It's so frustrating.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, you drive it and you think you've made up some time, and you look down and, nothing's been made up. He's got a little further away. You've been driving your guts out, and this track does not reward you very often for overdriving the car. And so you get to hustling it, and it just does you no good, Dean. It is frustrating as hell.
It really is. Leal trying to make a move on Helm. So Helm in 4th, Leal in 5th, up 8 spots. He can't get it down, and this is what's happening tonight. So he was on the verge of making up a spot. Now he's thinking about losing one. Now he's got contact, and he's going to lose 1, 2 maybe. There goes Hunt sailing it in on the high side. Holy cow.
So frustrating.
Yeah, George had to lift there to keep from taking both of them out, I think. He just come out of there and caught the left rear of him. And
Chica Musial on pit road. There's our leader. There's Paul Kay. There's Bernie. And back to this battle. Claus Williams now takes up the mantle for where George Leal just was. Will the same thing happen to him?
Monkey see, monkey do here, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just in shock on how that high line is working for these guys. And you can just see how much the 16 stalls out on exit there. There goes Hunt trying to fill it in. They're going to do the reverse freight train. That's on the outside instead of on the inside.
So, Jeff, talk a little bit about how this track... Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, Dean.
No, you're good. I cut you off.
Jeff, talk a little bit about how this track will change for these drivers. Like, we know that we see lines move around. We often talk about tires, but is the track doing something?
I think iRacing's worked real hard to get it where these grip levels change throughout the duration of a race. I mean, early in the run, you've seen guys trying to go up high, and they couldn't do nothing with it, when we first start this race. So iRacing's definitely got something going in the right direction as far as grip increasing on those upper lanes. And you could see Brian Helm here, like you guys were talking, he's already up to 4th here running that high line. So something's definitely working with what iRacing is doing. We just need to continue to do that and do it even more with pretty much every track on the circuit.
So this is interesting. Leal tried to pass Helm. He slipped back 4 spots. Williams tried to pass Helm. He slips back 4 spots. Now, Hunt up there, does she change her line, Baron, or does she say, you know what, I think I'll just follow you?
Well, maybe I'll just boot him.
Well, there's that too. I mean, and now she took to the bottom. Leal says, thank you very much. I'll go to the high side. I'll take that spot. I mean, this is different Richmond than I'm used to, folks. I mean, rocking the high side, I'm not even sure on a single lap that the high side's faster. The problem is, if you have cars on the outside of you and you're on the bottom, you can't extend out there. It just hurts the car so much, doesn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see this, though. It makes for a lot better race. Guys can move in. As a racer, you love to be able to move around. I mean, you hear guys talk about that all the time. In places like Michigan, some of the bigger tracks, if you're able to get up, run multiple lines, it just makes for you know, it makes the driver be able to use their tools a little better. And I think you're seeing some of the cream of the crop be able to move around the racetrack here, almost kind of like Larson or somebody would on a dirt track. So it's cool to see.
Well, speaking of the cream of the crop, Leal there has finally made it all the way back through all those positions he's lost. Now did complete the pass on Helm. Now Sheffield down here, he's saying, look, it's my time too. He's going to come through. So the big dogs are coming to the front here.
Jeff, you called it. You said Sheffield's going to be knocking on that door inside of 30 laps. Here he is. Looking at that top 5. He's there?
Yep. I've raced this guy. He's really smart, really great, talented guy out here. So, yeah, man, I expect him now. You know, what can I do now? Predict that he's going to be in the top 3 20 laps. No, let's not do that. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Don't push all the chips in quite yet.
Wait, while I'm ahead.
We call it the boot.
Oh no, contact! As Sheffield pushes up, gets into Helm, throws him into the wall, everybody's safe, but now Calamity is just moments away as they bunch back up here. Oh, and contact with Rachel now, so Helm's out of sorts after getting punted a little bit, and he is probably not happy behind that wheel. That makes for, you know, an uneven driver. Rachel slides back in line. They get it sorted out. Holy smokes. Meanwhile, Bryce Reiner out to a 1-second lead over Paul K. Travis. These two doing an excellent job. The difference in their line is they can use the whole track, Baron.
Yeah, they sure can, and that makes for fast lap times. You're battling somebody, you're doing everything you can to get around the guy, and the leader keeps getting further away.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I want to be. You know me, I want to be allowed. I don't like those bad touches, Baron.
Well, and it looks like we had a couple of bad touches there around Brian Helm. And, you know, what do you do when that happens, Jeff? How do you regather it?
Well, it's tough. It kind of throws off your momentum, and I'm not 100% sure that Rachel don't have some right front damage. I couldn't really tell, but it seemed like after that hit with Brian there that could be a possibility, but that's not so important here. But, yeah, man, you just got to regather your composure and go back to hitting your lines. And honestly, I'm not sure why Rachel ain't running up there in the third groove. She was making a lot of hay up there.
Well, she just cleared Helm there. I'm not so sure Helm didn't let her go. He probably felt a little bad about that. He got hit, and then he hit her, so he was a little rattled, to say the least. But now Rachel clear of this group. She set sail again. So impressed with how she's looked here tonight. A little further back, you got Spear battling with Claus Williams. And that is Helm there. So Helm now struggling. And something that can happen, Baron, is it might not have hurt your car, but it hurts the mind, right? You need the mind and the car to meld together.
Well, it looks like the car might be a little hurt on the right front there, which is, you know, probably causing a tight condition for him there. But you're right, Dean, right? Or, you know, you kind of get yourself out of store, the car starts driving, you know, a little poorly, right? And all of a sudden you start, you know, hearing ghosts. You know, in your ear, you know, the car's not right, I'm slow, this guy's not giving me any room. You start, you know, quicksand. And
you know
next thing you know,
I hear a lot of four-letter words coming out of my mouth.
Designer words for race car drivers only. That's right.
Yeah, it's so mental. It is super mental out there.
Look in on Michael Fleming here, right behind him. Look like Brantley chases it down the track and holds on. These cars getting a little wicked out here. Brantley back in 15th, Fleming in 14th, Blau in 13th right now. Look up to 12th, you got the Toad Man, Todd Gilly. Bear has slipped back, so all that battling seemingly has hurt him a little bit. He's fallen back to 11th. Walker the second in 10th in this battle here, where it's Helm, Spear, Walker, and Williams.
Quite a gaggle right there.
It is, and everybody kind of running different lines. I'm loving this. I mean, you alluded to it, Jeff. This is great for racing.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of jealous that I'm not out there being able to run side by side like that. It's I haven't, like you said, I haven't seen too many Richmond races where There's so much side-by-side racing as we see Klaus brush the wall going on the back there.
Yeah, Claw's looking a little out of sorts. Jason with a little shimmy shake himself on the bottom there. Helm holding them off, or maybe holding them up. I'm not sure. Go back up front here. Reiner leading. That is Reggie Evans behind him. So Reggie Evans in the 75 machine, now a lap down in 17th. He's in that lucky dog spot though. Paul K has fallen about 2 seconds behind Reiner, and Bernard Persson, who maybe overextended that car early, has fallen back another 2 seconds from Paul K. And don't look now, here comes Jorge Leal. Here comes Brandon Sheffield.
Sheffield's on a mission tonight.
He definitely is. Don't sleep on either one of these guys. Lap 100 of 175. Let's go to the pit board here. We see our last stop on lap 45 for most cars. When do you expect them to come in here, Jeff? I mean, 45, that puts us on a 55 lap run. 75 to go.
A lot of guys will probably try to cut this right in half. I would expect this. So we pitted at what, lap 56?
10 laps from now would be halfway on that run.
Yeah, I'd say probably 10, 15 laps from now would be smart. That'd give you a 60 lap run, and just kind of cut it in half and just see what you got at the end there.
Well, you know what, Baron, we talk about it week in, week out. These guys here at RGR, they love the overcut. You, up here in the booth, love the undercut. What do you like right now?
Well, you know, every driver is different.
Oh, we got a caution.
Never mind.
Brantley off in the grass. Looks like a solo car crash here. A little spin off of 4. Something very common here at Richmond. Let's have a look. Here he goes. And you just see there that rear end come out. He had a brake for the car in front of him. And wow, he just got a couple underneath that yellow line, and she went around. That's kind of like the unpredictableness that you were talking about earlier, Jeff.
Well, yeah, you dip a left tire off right there. It just uncambers the car and just upsets it and spins you straight around. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Brantley there. Hopefully, looks like he didn't get any damage. So get 4 new tires on it and go back to work.
All right, pit road busy. Everybody's coming in.
Well, all that mess we were talking about, pit road and strategy and all that, that's all out the door now.
It certainly is. I mean, this is interesting. We've seen what happened to Persson during the first pit stop. He lost 4 spots. Who loses spots here? Oh, and you see Helm inching forward in his box, so he pulled up short. That's an old Costanza move, isn't it? Stop short.
That was shortstop.
I don't know if you guys remember that one. That's an old trick when you got a date in the car and you're a young man. You just hit the brakes, put the arm over to protect her.
Oh,
that's just for old people, perhaps.
You're a Steinfeld guy. Got
Yeah,
it.
that's
All right.
Kind of a driving movie type of thing. No, I get it.
Well, that's a whole different thing. Don't make me bring up the popcorn.
Did it work?
It always works. Everything works as long as you have a willing partner. Otherwise, you're going to jail, Baron.
I think he was dosing him, Jeff. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Nothing's been proven. We can't all be blessed like you.
They operate a little differently, don't they? Huh?
We can't all be blessed like you. We got to do what we got to do out here.
Well, having a big unit doesn't hurt.
Okay. Bryce Reiner out front. Paul K. Travis in second. You got Bernard Persson in third. Leal and Sheffield now 4th and 5th. That's going to be big for them. Rachel been lingering close to the top 5 all night. What can she do? That's Spears, sorry, in 7th. Michael Walker has moved up to 8th. Another good run by the 22 machine. You got Helm and the Toad Man in the top 10.
Yeah, it's going to stack them back up here, give Paul K. Travis another chance here. So we'll see if he can throw it in there on the outside and make something stick. But Bryce has the advantage of being able to take off a little earlier.
This is going to be huge. I've seen this move made when the outside wasn't working. You can wrap lane number 2 and take away that start. But you said it here. Good start by Reiner. He's got no worries now. Now Travis has to contend with Bernard Persson. They head down into one.
Nice side-by-side battle here, Dean. They're 2x2 now. So, we're under 100 laps to go here. Tough to pick up here. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, tough now. You got Leal and Sheffield battling as well. Persson looks like he's going to lose this battle. Give credit to Paul K. Travis having a great run. Sheffield on the bottom, Leal on the high side, battle for 4th position. And it looks like that high side prevails. So Leal, our points leader, on the move. Persson now has a run. He's forced to the bottom. I'm not sure he wants to go there, but he does. Good battle for second. Paul K. holding them off. Persson working hard to get this thing done. Can't quite get there, though.
Well, he knows what's at stake, Dean. He sacrificed track position on the last restart, and by God, he didn't want to do that twice, does he?
No, and he got a great drive off on the bottom here. He might be able to get clear through 3 and 4. He tries, can't quite get there. Trying for the drive off. Paul K. right there. We're still in a battle for second place.
It's just so hard when you're the car on the out or the inside to get a run off the exit. And Bryce is up there loving this. This is exactly what he wants to see.
He does. And we got a yellow flag out here. Looks like Blau involved, and my goodness, I've seen the front end go sliding down the track. So perhaps Blau and Brantley will have a look at it. Here we go, Blau all alone, so this could, and here it comes. Reggie Evans. Oh, and a little net code action there.
Net code.
Don't like to use that as an excuse, but and a hard lick from Brantley. There goes the front end. I mean, contact would probably have been made regardless, as we got some pitters, so this is interesting now. Hunt stays out, but Spear comes in. Helm is in. Walker, Abear, Williams, Bruce, Fleming, Reggie Evans, all on pit road. Holy smokes, things are going to go on their head here. I mean, Barron, fresh tires. Let's look at it. How many laps was that? Looks like about 10 laps. Is this going to be enough?
Oh yeah, that'll be enough. They got what they got, and they're gonna use it all up now. As we clicked off these laps under yellow, they definitely got what they got. And Jeff, what do you do in this point? You go for it all, don't you?
No, I really like that move. I mean, we got a lot of laps here. If this thing was to go green the rest of the way, these guys are going to be sitting in the catbird seat that come in and got new tires. So, yeah, I'd put 4 new ones on and just really go to work. I wouldn't even worry about saving. I would just charge my tail off there.
That's right.
Rachel down there almost faking pit road. I'm not sure. Is there an advantage, Jeff, to riding around underneath the yellow line under these cautions here? I can't imagine fuel is of any concern.
I think they said they're getting, 105 laps per tank?
Yeah, roughly, yep.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Maybe she went down there, she had a text or a phone call she had to do real quick.
Yeah.
Make sure she didn't hit anybody. I'm not sure.
It's a great point. I mean, we're sim racers, right? They're not really in these cars. They're at home. Got all kinds of problems. Kids, cats, dogs, cigarettes, you name it. Anything can distract you, up to and including your internet connection.
Well, Brad Keselowski used to keep a phone in his car until he finally got busted for it back in the day.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yeah, he kept it in his racing suit.
Well, back in the day, there was a guy who used to keep a gun in his, so I don't know. But
yeah, Brad busted himself on under red one night at the Daytona 500 taking pictures.
Wow.
Yep, that's right.
A little history there from our great commentators, Baron Labosco and Jeff Ward. We're here at Richmond in the ECWP Richmond 175. Bryce Reiner, your leader. Person was the early leader. Bad pit stop made it life hard for him. Now he gets second life here, starting on the outside. Bryce Reiner leads him down. They go green. Great start by the front two. Reiner going to win that battle, though. Paul K under heat. He's in third, trying to hang on. Leal wrapping the high side. Big run from him. He's going to look to try and take third away. Person right on the bumper of Reiner.
Great battles going on here. Great battles.
I mean, I'm so impressed by the 88 that's here tonight as he continues to try and hold him off. Person trying to get a nose on the outside of Reiner. Couldn't quite get there. I think he'll try the same thing here. He doesn't. They both go to the bottom. Leal sails it in on the high side. Sheffield now on the outside of Travis. Awesome battling. Sheffield with the preferred line. He's going to clear Paul K, I think, here. I think it's just a matter of time. Hunt looking on the outside of Spear. Back up front. The top three now under a blanket. Sheffield's going to join them. This is a 4-car battle with, well, make it 5, 6, 7-car battle with Travis right there. Spear, Helm, and Hunt.
Look at that line Hunt has. I mean, she is just absolutely on the top.
Yeah, and I think it works, but I think in the early portion, the tire's not up to, quite heated up. Maybe it's hurting her a bit. Spear looks down low underneath of Travis. So Travis hemorrhaging spots here. This is not what he wanted. It's such a great night for him. Jason Spear can't get the drive off. The 88 coming back.
I think with Jason Spear, it's just going to get better and better for him here. He is one that stopped for 4 tires. So, like I said, I think that move will pay off later in this run, and as he's trying to clear Paul here.
Well, that's a great point. I already forgot. I mean, I'm old, like I said, but the 83 has that fresh rubber. What an advantage for him. And he's already up here. He's trying to make it work. But I'm telling you, Paul K. Travis saying, you can't have it. I'm not giving up any more spots.
And while that's been going on, he's been catching Sheffield. So add that disaster to the mix. You got all these tires, but you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, this is crazy. Helm with a rub on Travis as they extend another bump. These two going at it. Helm now running high. He bumps him. Holy cow.
4 tires coming through. He says, I'm a little faster here, and I'm going to make it work.
Wow.
Speaking of which.
A little aggressive, but it's that time of the race, isn't it, Baron?
It's time to get aggressive, Dean. We got about 50 laps here. This is going to be over and before you know it.
Yeah, it's going to go like a blink of an eye here. Big battle up front. Reiner so far holding them off. Person, Leal, Sheffield, and then Spear. What a race here tonight in the East Coast Web Printers Gen 6 series here on Wind Tunnel TV. I'm Dean Doucette, joined by Mr. Baron Labosco and Jeff Ward. It's been a good one here. Multi-groove racing here at Richmond.
Great stuff here. The tires don't seem to be such a factor right now, Jeff, with Spear. I mean, he had to mess around and try to get around, Brandon Sheffield. Sorry, not Brandon Sheffield. Brian Helm, but Spear he's not going anywhere, is he?
Yeah, it looks like he's moved up to the middle groove here, and I would like to think, like I said a bit ago, that he would get fast or gain more time on these guys as the laps go, but they may just equal out. it's hard to say without being behind the wheel out there. But if I was him, I'd probably try to work that low lane a little more. It looks like the top's fizzling out a bit. You got Brian Helm trying to get back under him here. So we'll see if he can gain some ground here.
Yeah, 10 laps, not a whole lot of green flag tire difference here, but it should pay off not only now, but if he takes care of them for the entirety of the run. So not over yet for that 83. He might still be the man to beat. I don't know. You see Sheffield starting to knock on that door of the 51 saying, hey, pardon me, excuse me, I'm here. And Spear coming up. He's getting better and better here. He's looking for racing room, and we can't see what's going on with that camera. Sheffield holds him off, so Sheffield fourth, Leal third. There's Person. Reiner with that clean air out front, starting to pull away a little bit here, about a half second now, Baron. All right, the Person continuing to try. Leal trying to hold off Sheffield all along. You got Spear back there. Let's check out our pit stops and see who else. So it's Spear, Helm, Williams, all with fresh tires. So Claus Williams, another guy back here behind Brian Helm. I mean, all these guys looking to come forward on fresh rubber, and Paul Kay unfortunately has slipped back to 8th now, along with Rachel Hunt in 9th.
Sorry, Dean, muted there, but it looks like this game of inches is playing out over laps, and it's really cool to see these guys work the different lines, trying to get around the competitors without touching each other. It's a very fine line.
As soon as you say that, there was some touching Leal into the side of Person, or vice versa. Hard to tell. But Person struggling a little bit here for what he's used to. And Leal and Sheffield are saying, hey, we got fresh tires behind us. We got to get going. And here comes Spear down to the inside of Sheffield.
Yeah, 40 laps here isn't a lot, so it's pretty much go time for these guys. We're going to start seeing what they have here, and if they want to get back to Reiner, you know, he's a second ahead of second place Pearson, and it's really time to put the throttle down here and see what you got.
It is, but nobody's going to give an inch here with 40 laps remaining. Spear continuing to rock the low side. Those tires helping him stay there, but can he complete the pass? Sheffield holding him off from the outside. Leal all along continues to work on Person. And Reiner, I think I just seen him light a cigar. He's in cruise control up there.
Nothing better than seeing everybody racing behind you as you just get further and further away.
No, it's the greatest feeling ever. I mean, you just want them to get side by side and keep battling, and you know you'll open it up. Reiner taking full advantage here as Bryce Reiner now 1.3 second lead. I mean, we can't say enough good things about the 14, Baron.
He's put a hell of a race together tonight, Dean, and if he closes this one out, he's earned it tonight.
I mean, you see here, Jeff, I mean, he is just using the whole track, nice and easy down on the bottom here.
Well, yeah, when you get out to a little bit of a lead like that, they start battling back there. You got the luxury of being able to save tires a bit. It's a yo-yo effect. I mean, you can watch them in the mirror. If they start to get a little closer, you can you know, try to get a little better lap time and get back out there. But yeah, I'd say, like you said, this cruise control saving and everything looks good for him here. What he does not want is a caution, which is a possibility here.
Yeah, it's always a possibility, especially as these guys, as the laps tick down and they get to racing harder and harder. It's almost a likelihood here. But I mean, when I was in the car there, Baron, as Leal makes a move here, or Bernard Person still trying to hold him off. I mean, when we were on the in-car camera, you could just see how late an exit he was taking. That's the smooth line. That's the easy line that Mr. Reiner was driving.
Well, and it looks here like Sheffield, because of that attempted pass by Leo, Sheffield found himself up here in the battle.
Yeah, he had a nose there on the outside, but Leal wasn't having anything of it. He took back. Now Sheffield looks to the inside. Says, okay, you don't want me up there? I'll try it down here. But Leal with a huge run that time. Very interesting battles happening up front. Spear trying to look to get a run from the high side. If anybody wants anything to do with Reiner, they gotta get going. And I know they're trying. I mean, at this point, nobody's holding back, are they, Jeff?
No, it's go time. We're seeing here that Jorge Leal, he's trying the high line. He's trying to get to the right rear of Bernie here. It looks like he's close to doing that. That high line may come in again for these guys that are on older tires here, as he goes down into one here, and he's really using a lot of wheel. But I really like George's driving style. He's really good at saving tires. He's a really good driver here. We'll see if he can make the move happen.
Yeah, I think both Leal and Sheffield, as Leal does get to the inside here, almost 3 wide with Sheffield. But again, the high line prevailing. And I think, Leal, all these guys who are great tire savers, they're done with that. I mean, we're so far in now, they're just wheeling this thing, so everybody's giving it their all. Leal really working over Person here. He wants his spot. He might have it, but Person with a big run on the outside, going to come back. Leal could have slid in front of him there.
Great side-by-side battle here.
Yeah, very dangerous there the way those guys entered that corner, but they make it work. Sheffield now working on Person. Person trying desperately to hold on to third. You can see Leal already starting to separate. Just needed some clean track. Once you can use the whole track, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, you use up the whole track. Your braking points are much more secure. Your acceleration points are more secure. You don't have a car to the outside or your inside. So much easier to run faster lap time.
And also, this track's tough. I mean, we're 150 laps in. You're starting to think about the physicality of this, sitting here and doing this long. It starts to take a toll on you when you're running 175 laps at Richmond.
Well, Mike Freeman out there, he's saying with the gravelly voice, he's wondering how many whiskeys and cigars I've had. I think he's talking about me. Well, I haven't had any yet, but that's just today, Barron.
The operative word being yet.
Well, that's right.
The day is not over.
No, sir, it is not, nor is this race. Coming down to, close to 25 to go here in the Richmond 175. And now Reiner has opened up about a 2.7 lead on Leal. Now Sheffield has cleared Person, and he's starting to come back on Leal. And Person still has a lineup behind him, as now Spear looking. This is a line I do not want to be in, Jeff. I mean, it's very frustrating. There's nowhere to go. You're fifth in this line or something, and you're thinking, my God, am I stuck here the rest of the night?
Yeah, it's tough. I think he's hoping to get by Person here, which Person, he almost looks like he may be holding this pack up a little bit.
Oh boy, and we're around. Spears around. Helm's into him. Bear into Helm. I could see it happening.
And that is not what Bryce wanted to see.
He did not want that with Leal and Sheffield right behind him here. Let's get a look in and see what happened there. I think this started a little before the accident. You see there, Person loose off the corner, throws off his entry, and wow, Helm out of nowhere comes in and gets into Spear and then finishes him off to boot. Wow.
Oops.
Whoopsie-doo.
Yeah, I think Brian Helm may have missed his braking point a bit, or he may have had some help from behind. Hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, we don't always see it all there, but it looked like a missed braking point or a little over-aggression. Hard to say. But we got pit stops here now, and now Reiner got to be on. And look at this, Leal not on his bumper here. That's a big mistake by Jorge Leal, in my opinion.
And tell us why, Jeff. Why do you have to be so close to that bumper entering pit road?
Well, I mean, when you get down on pit road, it comes down to fractions of seconds, millimeters, or however you calculate that. But it's very important to get everything you can down there. And so we'll see what kind of pit stops ahead. Looks like Bryce had a nice clean stop as the right side goes up on that car.
How about that, Baron? Jeff speaking a little Canadian to me there.
I love it. Although Jeff doesn't sound like he's from Canada. Maybe he's Southern Canada.
He's not from
Never been accused of that.
not from Canada yet. You guys think you're taking us over? I'm thinking we might take you guys over. I'm not sure yet.
Never been accused of being a northerner yet. That's a new one, but it's all good.
I just heard millimeters. I mean, wow. You don't hear that from too many Southerners. Jason Brantley down the apron here, an apparent penalty, or perhaps he just didn't beat him off a pit road. Not sure. So Reiner does come out in first, Leal second, Sheffield third, Person fourth, all status quo there. Helms comes out in fifth. The big loser of all this is Jason Spear, who remains on pit road. And I can't see it here, but I'm pretty sure I see steam coming out of his ears and eyes here, Baron.
Yeah, you likely do. Very frustrated young man behind that wheel. 15 cars on this track running right now on the current lap with only 20 to go. They're getting ready to dice it up, Dean.
They are. Another great comment from Mike there in the chat. He says, "Get out of my way, Grandma." And I mean, that's one way of looking at that wreck, I suppose. Wow. Getting down to it. Be 20 to go when we restart. Reiner trying to hold him off. He's got new competitors up here in Leal and Sheffield now, and everybody's on the same rubber. We're going to see what they got. May the short run specialist get this thing.
Yeah, it's no time to drive like a grandma here. I mean, it's going to be all out.
Hey, windows open, Jeff.
Pace car off the track. Reiner holding him and a good launch there. Sheffield trying to get to the inside of Leal. He will. So the battle for second will rage into one here. Leal sends it in deep. That's a perfect corner from the 51. Well, not really. Not a good exit. The 36 there sticks with him. Great entry there from Leal, though.
That was a full send right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that thing stuck for him. A little wiggle off the corner, but he holds on to it. Sheffield not done yet, but again, Reiner smiling ear to ear as they battle side by side behind him.
And Reiner's executed these restarts perfectly. I mean, he's got a great gap the past two yellows when we're going to turn one.
He has, and he's mixed it up, Jeff. He's gone early, he's gone late, and you have to do that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are smart. They pay attention to what someone's doing. They try to learn from it, and the outside guy will try to roll up on you or do whatever it takes to be next to you going M1. But yeah, you got to play some games out there, and Bryce is doing whatever it takes here.
Another guy trying to make some hay. The 88, Paul K. Travis. He had slipped back to 8th. He's got his rubber on the machine now, and he says, "I'm not done yet." Back to 5th he goes, and I'd love to see it. The 88 still thinking, I can get a podium here. Time running out, though. 17 to go. It's Reiner, Leal, Sheffield, Person, and Travis. You see the 51 there, a little wiggle here, and there's just nothing to hold back here. Is there anything you can do, Baron? I mean, as far as trying to, 15 laps, can you plan for the last 5 laps? Like, can you save for 10 laps or so? Well, what can you do?
Well, you said it earlier, Dean. It's a short run that they're on right now. Who's got the short run speed? Can you change the line to make up some tenths? Can you change your braking points? Maybe lower your brake bias in the car to help the car rotate in the center. There's a lot you can do, but Dean, does it help? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the story of my life. I try a lot of things. None of them help.
Right.
Reiner, Leal, and Sheffield continue to battle. Person's still in this thing, but this is true Richmond. This is how it usually looks. You know, there's spaces, 2 car lengths between each car. Almost impossible to make up time. You see how well the entry for the 8 machine, but then on the exit, the separation comes. I mean, Jeffs, they got to do something. I just don't know what.
Well, it's a tough time of the race right here because if I was a betting man, I would say that Bryce is thinking to himself, you know, if a caution comes out, I got to have a little tire left. But he also wants to go just fast enough where he stays in the lead in case it goes all the way to the checkered flag here. So it's a really tough position to be in.
Well, I'll tell you what, Leal here has found something, Baron. Looks like he moved up the track a little bit, caught a couple of big runs, and he has caught up to Reiner. There he goes.
Yep. Charlie Hustle here. He's doing something different. He's got a wheel full of it now. He's making up some ground pretty much in a hurry here, Dean.
He really is. That off of 2, he is absolutely dominating off of 2. Can he get a run here and stick with him a little bit more? Reiner pulling away a bit. You'll see again here how good he is on this high entry. Little shallower this time. I don't think he'll get as big a run this time.
Route really loose. Aggressive on that gas.
Yeah, George is laying it out there. You can see him getting a little loose off 2. I think he's giving that race car everything it's got here at the end.
He certainly is. Let's take a look back a little ways. He got Rachel Hunt back in 11th. Rincon now on the outside making a move. The Toad Man just ahead has made his way into the top 10. Darren Bruce, haven't talked about him much tonight. He's up there in 9th. You got A-Bear in 8th position. How about Michael Walker the second? He's been stringing some races together. The 22 in 7th. Helm with a little bit of a beat up car now in 6th. Paul K right behind Bernard Person. He's in 5th. Person 4th. Sheffield 3rd. And Leal still stalking our leader.
So frustrating to be that close and not be able to capitalize.
Well, now he's moved further up that track. This is the spot I like. Big run incoming by the 51. But it looks like Reiner is just so solid that he's nullifying that run with how solid he's running these corners.
The timing it takes to do a run like this that Leal is doing, it's just unbelievable, Dean.
It really is. It's a really fine line there. If you want to enter like that and cut it down, you can at times you can almost come to like a complete stop if you're hitting it wrong. If you hit it right, you can just turn on that gas at the right time and you get a mammoth run. That's what the 51's trying. I think it might have stopped working at this point, but he's still within striking distance.
But George had a really good 3 and 4 back there. Looks like he's going to have a pretty good one here. He didn't get the same run as he tries to get out of that air a bit on the low side. Goes back to the high side on 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's something you talk about a lot, Baron, and that's the other aspect of it. He's getting clean air up there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting clean air. Keeps that headlight out there, a little more downforce. He's almost there, though. Look at this run.
Oh, boy, we're coming down to it. Coming down to 3 to go. Here it is, 3 to go. George Leal right there trying everything he can to get up there to brace Reiner. Reiner just being immaculate.
It just doesn't look like he can get the power down when he wants to.
Yeah, coming out too, guys. He got super loose there, and I think he lost everything he had just gained those past 3 laps. That's so frustrating to be in that position as he crosses the line with 2 to go there.
That's Richmond in a nutshell right there. Gain, lose it all. And Leal just can't quite get there. Bryce Reiner, he's got about 6 car lengths here or so. And he's just got to manage this. He's coming out of 4 to the white flag, Baron.
Patience wins the race, and that's exactly what Bryce Reiner was doing here, just being patient.
He's been patient. He's been solid. He's been good. The 14, Bryce Reiner down into 3. He comes through the corner, through 4. He will win the ECWP Richmond 175. Leal, Sheffield, Person, Travis, Walker, Helm, Abear, Bruce, and Gilly in the top 10. What a race, guys. That was a fun one here, Jeff. I mean, a little unexpected as far as different lanes being run and everything. We've seen a lot of great battles. Really good race.
Yeah, that was awesome. Congrats to Bryce. If I had to use one word to describe it, it'd be methodical. Kind of calculated on saving tires, and just a really impressive win here.
And I mean, that's what it takes to win in this league. It's kind of mistake-free, you know. Me and my Lions. I'm a big Lions fan. You got to play mistake-free football to win. And here, you got to be mistake-free, corner after corner, lap after lap. That's what Reiner did tonight out of Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, and he's having fun out here, Barrett.
Well, he sure is, and why wouldn't he? Hard-earned donuts right there, Dean. And you know how much we love donuts.
We do love donuts. I still need some Krispy Kremes. Someone send them to me. The maroon PC machine is loving it here. All right, let's take a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get some race interviews in. National anthem going on here. I mean, we could play it again, perhaps, for Bryce Reiner. What a night for him. Awesome job. Of course, the pit road mistake from Person put him in jeopardy. Leal and Sheffield move up 11 and 17, respectively. Just a great job by everybody out here tonight. I mean, look at this beautiful track out here, Jeff, all lit up. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, Richmond, Virginia, it's a cool place. Like I said, I like Iowa a little better, but it did not disappoint tonight. A lot of multi-groove racing, and it was just a fun time with you guys.
Yeah, it's been a great time up here with you, Jeff. Right now, let's get into our race interviews here as we bring in our third place finisher, Mr. Brandon Sheffield. Brandon, a hard-fought third place. Congratulations, man.
Does the lock not work on the door up here? How the hell is Jeff Ward getting here?
That's right. We got Jeff Ward in here. Keeping an eye on you tonight, Brandon.
Yeah, it was a fun race. Had to start in the back because I missed the driver's meeting and just had to be patient all night. And fun racing these guys. It was kind of nice to have some cautions to break it up. I mean, I love green flag racing as much as everybody else, but it was nice to be able to re-rack them every now and again.
Well, it was, and especially when you're starting back in 20th place, right? I mean, you can make up places, but to make up all that track position is a little tougher. So, kind of helped you in a way to get up here to third, didn't it?
It for sure did. I think I caught him about the right spot. I would have loved to have been able to make a green flag pit stop. I think I could have made a little time there. I don't know. I felt like I had a pretty good long run car, and so I was glad the cautions were spaced out the way they were, and it just, it kind of fell together tonight.
Talk a little bit about the track tonight. So, the track car combo here, something a little different from what I'm used to here at Richmond. We've seen a lot of middle and high line and cutting down to the low line from the high line. I mean, you could really mix it up here tonight.
It sure seemed like you could, and I didn't do any of that. I ran it old school Richmond. I was on the bottom every single lap. And I think that was part of what worked for me on the long run. I was able to be patient with the throttle to keep the rear tires underneath it, and I wasn't driving off in the corner so hard that I was burning the right front off. So really, I mean, you saw it in that last run when George and Bryce walked away from me there. I just didn't have short run pace that a lot of guys had, but I was able to be consistent and keep that long run pace and keep the tires on the car to be able to, 50 laps into the run, have something for them.
I mean, and that's the thing, like, how hard was it once you got up there? You're battling with, Person and Leal and Travis. And these are good cars up here, man. You had to use it up a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, there was a lot of good cars up here, and everybody's so close. I mean, I was, when I was running 15th on lap 20, I was watching the relative, and, me and Todd and everybody who's back there racing for 14th, 15th, 16th, we're matching times with the leader. I mean, there's just no fall off throughout this whole field. So, yeah, I had to be really patient, had to try to set guys up where you could. and just sit and wait and hope that they burn their tires more than you did. And yeah, as far as Bernie, that was George and I were just talking about that in the waiting room. I was just giving George the space and letting him make the hole because I knew it was going to be easier for him to get Bernie up out of the groove and then have us both go through than for me to start trying to race George and then try to go race Bernie. I knew I wasn't going to have anything left, so just sat and waited for George to make that happen, and that's how I get to come talk to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, smart race car driver, thinking smart. I love it. I'm going to turn to Jeff here and just say, Jeff, you got something to ask Brandon here?
Oh, for sure. Look, Brandon, you gained 17 spots tonight, and at one point you made me look really good because you were about, I don't know, 10th, 11th. And I told Barron and Dean, I said, watch, in 30 laps he's going to be in the top 5. I said, I've raced this guy. He's smart. He's calculated. And I'll be darned if you didn't do it. So, yeah, good job, man.
Well, my goal is always to make you look good. I usually did it by running second to you. So this was better than what we normally had to do.
All right. Go ahead, Jeff.
I talked to them about the first time I raced you in Rockingham, and I said I know this guy's a good driver. So, yep, congrats on third, man.
Back at you, man. Cool to have you in the booth.
Yeah, take us away here, Brandon. Any sponsors? That Caden Foundation. We know that one.
Yeah, man. Got to thank you guys for an awesome broadcast. That should have been a fun one. Got to thank the RGR boys for this league. This league's really hitting its stride, and it seems like there's a clump of guys right now who seem to always be racing each other week after week. So right now it's me, George, and Bryce, and it seems like we're just on top of each other every week, and it's a lot of fun because we're all very similar drivers, but we have just enough little differences to where we're somebody's always a little bit better than somebody else, and it changes every night, which is so much fun. Caden Hammond Foundation on the car, CadenHammondFoundation.org if you want to learn more about that. Ed Kane CPA also on the car. Get a hold of Ed for any accounting needs you may have.
All right, I see Barron flashing up. You got something, Barron?
Tax season is right around the corner.
It always is right around the corner, Barron.
All right, Barron. That was Brandon Sheffield, the number 36, with a stellar performance, moving up 17 spots and finishing third.
Congratulations to Brandon, and congratulations to Jorge Leal. I'm with George. George, man, one spot, and you're in the winner's circle. What did you need? It was a hell of a charge at the end.
I guess I just needed a little bit more grip there coming off the turn 4. I did everything I could to get out there, and I got my fender on him in the middle of the corner, and I got a little greedy, and it was hard to get. I couldn't get it back.
Yeah, so later in the run, tires a little warm, a little loose coming out. Is that what happened, or were you just pushing them for everything they had?
A little bit of both. I didn't take fuel, so hopefully, hoping that would tighten me up a little bit. And when I was racing Brandon, I was kind of feeling out how much I could get in the throttle. And like I said, it was everything I could do to swing it on that outside. And I think I got a little too greedy and tried to get it all right there. I think if I would have just kind of held my ground right there, I might have had a chance one more time. But it was a good race. It was fun.
Well, George, you were up front, in the lead pack all night, battling with different drivers throughout the evening. Tell me a little bit about your pit stop strategies. Were you hoping it was going to be 4 tires later, or did you really commit to what you had?
I expected a green flag stop there, but it kind of worked out the way it did. If we would have went green on that last run, I think Jason Spear and a couple of them other guys, we might have been in some trouble. But I just kind of followed the leaders a little bit, and if an opportunity to pit and get fresher tires and then would have presented itself, I would have tried it out. I probably should have pitted when Spear and them pitted, and that probably would have been pretty good. But I didn't want to get back there because it was so hard to pass. If somebody got out there on the outside, it was just damn near impossible to get around them.
So, points leader going into next week. What do you got for him next week?
Are we at Indy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I won Xfinity or something there last time. Pretty fun, I guess. I think we got pretty strung out, so I think it'll just be driver and track, and we'll see what happens.
Well, who do you got to thank for your second place finish tonight, George?
Thank everybody out there racing clean. Came from 13th, so had to pass a bunch of cars, and everybody was tough. So I appreciate the clean racing. Appreciate y'all for doing the broadcast. Appreciate East Coast Web Printers for putting this on and letting us be on WTTV, and everybody at RGR. Appreciate them.
Dean, Jeff, second place finisher right there. George Leal in his 51 machine.
Yeah, George was so good tonight, but there was one guy a little bit better. The 14 of Bryce Reiner down in victory lane. Congratulations, Bryce.
Yeah, thank you. How are you guys doing up there?
Doing great, Bryce. Let's go towards the end of the race there. We get a couple of restarts, fairly late, and the guys get to battling behind you. I mean, how key was it to get out there, not have anybody beside you, and then just smile as they battle for each other and let you get away?
I for sure was not smiling, but no, all in all, the the restarts are key, especially late in the race. You want to get a good restart and then try to gain an advantage by pulling on them a little bit, and after that just save tires, and that's my key to every race is pretty much save tires early on and try to pull away as much as I could, and then kind of keep the distance from there.
Well, in that vein, how important was it to when you got into first place versus early on when you start third? Paul K's looking really good, Bernie's looking really good, and you got to deal with that. And you had to be a little concerned about being able to beat these guys. But once you get out front from pit road, it's a different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. I got to give a shout out to Paul K. I know he finished fifth, and he probably could have had a podium, but man, he ran well tonight, and props to him and the guys pretty much in the top 10. Um, but going to your question, early on, I assume you guys saw it. I could not get by Paul for the life of me, so I was just kind of buying my time for a little bit. Um, Dirty air was super super bad. You just can't gain access to a run right behind a guy. So when Bernie was pulling away, I told Paul, I was like, I'll just lag back with you and see where the race goes. And luckily that caution came out, and from there we kind of just strategically took the lead.
Well, veteran move there. You move up in the points now, like unofficially. You get closer anyway, let's put it that way. Are you thinking about trying to get yourself in here and trying to take this championship away from our leader right now, George Leal?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, he is phenomenal each and every week. I mean, look at it. He started 13th and had to pass a bunch of cars. Same with Brandon. So, he's tough every week. I think a lot of people are tough every week. It's just the luck of the draw where, this track suits me very, very well. I love it, and I just got to keep pushing, and we'll try to keep getting good finishes from here on out. I know we only got a couple, you know, races left, but we'll keep pushing on, and hopefully we have a battle on our hands for sure.
Absolutely, you do. We'll turn it over to Jeff Ward here, see if Jeff has a question for you, Bryce.
Hey Bryce, during the race, I told them if I could use one word for you, it'd be methodical, and if I had a second word, it'd be calculative. I'd probably say. But when you saw George Leal start running that high line there with about 5 or 10 laps to go, did you think that he was going to be able to get to your right rear, or were you just kind of saving on the bottom and just doing your thing there?
It sure was a possibility that he could have got to my right rear. I love the bottom. I was married to it. It's just so easy to be easy on the throttle and kind of get it to be quicker than the guys on the outside. But early on in the run, I saw Rachel doing it, and I saw her lap times were creeping in on us. So a little scared there for a second, but I knew within 5 laps, I think the tire wear would be a little bit too much for him to try to get to me.
Well, methodical and calculated there, Bryce, makes me think of the old Terminator. Maybe we'll have to insert that in between Bryce and Reiner. I think I like it.
I like it too.
All right, Bryce. Hey, congrats on awesome victory. Great job out there tonight at a really tough track with tough competitors. Another victory, and we'll turn it over to you, brother. Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for or from East Coast Web Printing for the Gen 6. Appreciate their sponsor, Alive Church and the Xfinity. Martin PC, Digital Sim Sports, Team Conti, you guys up in the booth, and the admins to this league. That's who makes this run, and then you guys for sure keeping it on stream so all the fans can watch. And yeah, thank you guys.
All right, Baron, race winner, the 14, Bryce Reiner.
Congratulations to Bryce the Terminator Reiner, now dubbed so from the booth, and the great mind of Dean Doucette. Great race tonight. Richmond didn't disappoint. Can't wait to see what we got next week. Indy.
Yeah, can't wait. One of my favorite tracks, Baron. I'm pretty sure you enjoy it too. Is that correct?
I love that track. I live in that town. I might even see these boys Sunday night and go racing with them there at Indy.
Who knows? Maybe Jeff will join us. But Jeff, your thoughts here on maybe the race and maybe your night in the booth as well.
Well, I'll tell you guys, coming into this, I was a little nervous about it because I'm usually behind the wheel, not behind the mic. So this is totally different for me. But you guys made it easy for me. It was a lot of fun to watch these guys out there, and yeah, man, I'd love to join you again sometime and call another one of these things.
All right. Well, we loved having you for sure. We love covering this race here at RGR and the East Coast Web Printers Gen 6 series, a thrilling event. We look forward now to Indianapolis, and of course, we have that coverage every Thursday around 9:10 p.m. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Baron Labosco, and special guest Jeff Ward, that's going to wrap it up from Richmond Raceway, and we'll see you right here next time.